Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
Right then, what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to start with a song, a chant, if you will. Now, I've been working on this all day. If you think it's shit, just say, that's a bit shit. You stop now.
That's shit, that is.
Right, I'm going to start it. You ready?
That's shit.
Right, give me a chance. I'm not even started. I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. I've had to find something to do. This is what I've done. It goes a bit like this.
Like it.
This is how it goes. It goes. Well, you're not even heard it and you're laughing. Gosh, talk about shoot me down in flames. It goes like this. Warren Ahora is not a goal scorer, and neither are any of the other team, it would seem. What do you think? Think it needs more work?
For fuck's sake!
It took you 2 weeks.
2 weeks, son.
2
Well,
weeks to
no,
come
not
up
2
with
weeks. A week and a half. I mean, I'm exaggerating. Not bad though, is it? What I would like to see.
Don't go into songwriting, will ya?
Well, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see Don's Action take that up this Saturday in the old cowshed and belt it out. What I'd like.
Warren O'Hara is not a goal scorer, but no one
Neither
else is.
are
it seems.
any of the other team, it would seem. It rhymes, Tone. I mean, come on, it rhymes.
It does. It's only 4 lines and it doesn't flow very well.
It rhymes though,
No,
Tone.
it started off badly. It got worse in the middle. And the ending wasn't great.
And then it tapered off very badly.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah,
It's alright.
Yeah. It's a good
Perhaps,
effort.
Tony, we
Yeah.
should introduce our guest this week before we start slagging off a well-written song, Tony.
I'm looking forward to the album.
Something that someone's...
We have got current
Current.
MKDSA chairman, Bolin Cutler.
Everybody says that.
Well,
That's
you
old,
are.
Tony. Come on.
Are you? You know what you are, Colin? You are the Boris Johnson of the SA. You've gone, but you just point blank will not refuse to admit you've left. That's what you are. Are you going to be standing outside?
I am not leaving. I am staying for another few days.
Are you going to be standing outside the stadium on Monday night with like a podium, saying how brilliant you are?
Do you think I should?
I think
I think a press conference outside the Doubletree would go down well.
Yeah, get your own podium.
Yeah, they'd
there.
love that. They'd love that. A load of football fans outside.
Yeah, podium, yeah.
Make a change, wouldn't it?
A load of football fans in Milton Keynes, whatever next.
Right, what are we going to do this week, fellas? Because neither me nor Tony went to Exeter, which is why Colin here has gratefully decided to come on and tell us about how great it was to go there and watch us get an absolute doing.
You want me to tell you about it?
Yeah, we might as well start with that. Go on.
Am I allowed to swear?
I can swear as much as you like on this podcast, mate, yeah.
It was shite. Honestly, utter shite.
Can I just stop you? What time did you get up at, Colin?
Sorry?
What time did you actually get up at in the morning?
Well, I left probably about 5:30.
5?
It's worth it,
Yeah,
then.
well, yeah. I don't like to rush myself in the morning. Come down, have a brew, go back upstairs, have a shower, get myself sorted out. I left the house about 6:30. 7:30. To get down to Stadium MK. I never like rushing. You never know what's going to happen. So aim to get down there about 8:15. Jump on the coach. 4.5, 5 hours on the coach.
Oh, you left that because I didn't know you went on the coach. I thought
Yeah.
to away games.
No, I've done that journey.
I used to drive, but I think I've said to a few people, it's just
That's far too far away. That's ridiculous. I've done that journey, like both on the car and on the coach, and it is just absolutely ridiculous.
you'd think they'd make it a bit closer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that would be much more convenient.
Well, all piss taken aside, I genuinely don't think teams that are far away should be allowed to be in the Football League. Honestly, like Sunderland, that's too far away, isn't it? Like Carlisle, you're too far away. You're in league. No, you can laugh, Tony. It's too far away, isn't it? Bloody Exeter.
You know what?
should be
I'm
the
half agreeing with you because I don't like the long journeys.
That's fine,
but
I'll drive,
at the same time, it's just a ridiculous thing to say
No,
because
it isn't, Tony.
football is football, isn't it? And
not,
you got to
Tony.
go where you got to go.
No, they're
But
too far away.
listen, it could be worse. You could be an Exeter fan or a
could be,
Plymouth
yeah.
fan.
There is
Yeah,
that.
you imagine
You know
that,
how
really.
far Barrow is?
Ooh, do you
We
think?
went to Morecambe, and we were sat on the promenade looking out to sea,
Oh, nice.
and I was told that directly ahead of us was Barrow. So
Yeah, you'd see the lights from Barrow from Morecambe.
yeah,
From
so I was
Morecambe
looking
Bay,
out there, and I was thinking,
That's
I'll
far,
have a
you
look at
said.
Google Maps. Said it was 15 miles away, like
Yeah.
as the crow flies. But if you wanted to drive there from Morecambe, it was another 100 miles.
Jesus Christ, let's not go there.
One road in, one road out, Barrow.
Yeah, well, I do like to tick off new grounds, but I'd be thinking twice about
If
going to
anyone's
Barrow.
interested, Rangers are getting battered 4-0 at the minute, so...
Are they?
Yeah. That shut me up from last night, isn't it?
John-
Sorry.
Can I just mention, John Samuel said after Saturday's result, he thinks they were playing saving themselves for Europe.
That shows you what he knows about football. Fuck all.
Go on then, Cole. Give us a
Yeah, give us your day, Colin. Go
a
on.
match report.
Please go ahead.
I've got to be honest with you. I found the whole bloody game depressing. Do you remember when we went down there and went Teesdale?
Yeah.
The Teesdale Grudge Derby, or whatever you want to call
Lost
it.
3-1 or whatever, didn't we? Something
That's
like that.
right, yeah. And we were 3-0 down quite quickly. And Paul Teesdale was the only man in the ground that didn't know that Exeter City were going to absolutely pummel us, but for as long as they could. And although it wasn't that type of pummeling, they absolutely dominated the game. I mean, it got so bad in the second half. Our fans were saying we've touched the ball, we've touched, like that. And it honestly, it was embarrassing. And if I had driven, I'd have been long gone because there was only one result. Only one result.
It's
The only
genuinely...
thing that kept it down to 1-0, which if you didn't read the match report and or anything of that, and you were just someone casually looking at the scores, you'd think, 1-0. That was quite a tight game. It wasn't. It was a chasm between the two clubs. Really was. And the only thing that kept it respectable was Jamie Cumming, who was world class. 2 saves were out of this world. But, he made about 4 or 5. If we'd have walked out of there 5-0 down, we could have had no complaints whatsoever.
Liam Manning said that their press was really difficult to deal with. And I only saw a very brief highlight, which actually showed us in a good light because of the way we got out of the high press and they were pressing in numbers. Did they just completely play us at our own game?
Well, I'm to a degree, yeah, but I mean, even when we got the ball, if you look at the percentages of possession, they're not too dissimilar. I think they're slightly in front of us, but when we had the ball, we just done the usual, Tone. Last third of our back third of the pitch, passing it around, got the midfield, bang, we lost it, gave it away. We were hoofballing it. That's not us. We were hoofballing it.
Does it feel like, because I've seen a couple of people say it was like watching a Robbie Nielsen team, but I'm getting that feeling that I got that season, that this isn't football I want to watch.
No, honestly, Tony, the Morecambe game, Morecambe meant a brilliant team, but that game could have gone either way. Cumming made a few decent saves. We could have been 2-0 down in that, and it was only the fact that Will Grigg scored. It just changed the whole balance of the game.
But I thought that was very much a big step towards the way we played last season at Morecambe, and ignoring the result and the fact that we won, I actually enjoyed watching us play that game.
Yeah.
But it just seems that there's two teams at the moment. There's the one that's capable. The one that's capable of beating Morecambe 4-0 and Watford 2-0.
Yep.
And then playing like we did at Cambridge and Ipswich and on Saturday against Exeter. So it's like there's almost two identities at the moment.
Really, Jekyll and Hyde team. And you don't know what you're going to get because the team selection doesn't give any indication which way it's going to go. You can't sort of say we're lacking a lot of players, so it's going to,
But am I right in thinking that starting 11 was exactly the same as the starting 11 at Morecambe?
All bar one, I think. I think you're not far out, but I think it was like all bar one.
Yeah, I can't remember when I looked at the starting 11, I thought I did actually think that's the same starting 11 as at Morecambe. So if there was one change, I mean, certainly the formation didn't change, did it? So it's got to be, hasn't it got to be other teams or letting other teams affect the way that we play? Whereas previously, I mean, one thing I noticed at Morecambe that I hadn't seen this season, we started to win the second ball again in the middle of the pitch.
Well, we never did that on Saturday.
No, every time a ball came loose, it was our player was on top of it. Every time they got possession in the middle third, we were on top of them. We were taking the ball off them, and that I think was probably the secret of our success last season. Because if you've got the ball in the middle of the field, or you're picking up those second balls, it's a quick attack away from a goal. So I can't comment on Saturday, but from listening to it on the radio, you can always tell, really, from if you listen to the radio commentary and you're listening, just listen to Toby, because Toby's a massive Dons fan.
Yeah,
and he's doing the radio commentary as well. He struggles. He struggles to talk. He struggles to come up with anything that. And I did speak to him at Morecambe only by text. I must catch up with him. We'll get him on here to get his thoughts for the season. But he was really struggling, and there's nothing to say, is there? There's nothing.
No, there wasn't, mate. I'll tell
Could you pick one positive from that game?
Well, only coming.
Yeah.
I mean, coming out.
Well, we don't want to know what you did at half time, but
yeah. Well, I felt like going. I'll tell you, never mind that. I mean, I don't know how well you know the away end at Exeter, but right in the middle, there's an alleyway, if you like, to round the back of the stands, where you can go to the loo and you can have a vape or a smoke or whatever you want, mate. It was crowded round there in the second half. There was people going round there and saying, "God, I can't watch this. It's dire." It was. I don't want to say they weren't trying, Tone, because I never want to accuse a player of that. Yeah. But it was a gutless. They looked lost. They didn't know what to do. Manning tried several substitutions to try and stifle Exeter, but nothing happened. Nothing.
Who do you think then?
It seems to me that if we can't control the game, or if we're not potentially in control of the game, we will struggle.
Well, who do you think's to blame for that then, guys?
I reckon when we go 1-0 down, mate, that's as good as over.
Well, who do you think's to blame for it then? It's like a Robbie Nielsen team without the charisma at the minute, isn't it? And that's saying something. I mean, someone is to blame for that on like Saturday, because that is not just a one-off. Like, I mean, it's not, is it? We went to like Cambridge and, well, that was just rubbish, to be quite honest. It really was. The only good thing that happened at Cambridge is I took against that lad, that lad Lawrence. That's the only positive I can think of that whole day.
We haven't got anybody really capable. We had the likes of, Troy Parrott, Scott Twine last year, somebody that would grab hold of the ball and make things happen. But we had nobody on Saturday, and like you quite rightly pointed out, John, not for the first time this season. No, nobody making an influence on the game. I mean, you can't expect
that player be Bradley. Should that not be?
Oh God, he made a bloody tackle. I'll tell you what. If he'd have got anywhere near the player, mate, he'd have broke his bloody legs.
Do you genuinely think
when he dived in with both feet? It was
Do you think he's just here
red
then?
card waiting to happen.
Do you think he's just here for a final payout then? Because that's pretty much what it's beginning to feel like, isn't it? Old Johnson just turning up.
I don't know. I think he blows hot and cold for me. 1 minute he's looking brilliant. The next minute he's looking like he's never played football.
He should be the one that's controlling things, though, isn't he? He's the one. He's got the experience. He's a brilliant player. We know that. He's got goals in him. He's strong. He's quick about the pitch. He's not the youngest, but he should be the one that takes control, get a grip on the team and sort them out. That's how I'm seeing it. I mean, that's what. You wouldn't put a player of that age and experience in a team if you didn't think that they could do a job.
He should be 2 strides ahead, Tony, and 3 passes in front of everybody else on that pitch. With his experience, as you pointed out, mate, and at times he looks incredibly. He looks out of his depth in League One, and then the following week you're standing up the cowsheds, not you, but anybody, slagging him off, and then he goes and scores 2 goals.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant point.
But there's a consistency. That's what we want. We want someone who
there is no consistency.
Can rely on. You need someone you can rely on. And last season it was, Troy Parrott was out for a while, but you could, you always knew what you were going to get with Troy Parrott and Scott Twine, obviously. I mean, I think one of the advantages we had last season is that teams were genuinely scared of us.
Oh, crikey!
And those players. Whereas you look at that team now, I mean, you could say Grigg will always be a threat. Harvey's a threat down the left hand side. Lawrence is improving. O'Hora's O'Hora. We love him.
Do you want me to sing my song? I can sing my song again if you like. I can do that now. War in the Horror song if you like. I'd sing it now.
No, that's save it.
Tony, if Grigg's not getting a service, mate, from the midfield, he might as well not be on the park. I mean, he was rendered harmless by our inability to provide him with good ball, and also getting stifled out of it by the Exeter back 3 or 4 or whatever they were.
That's exactly what happened when we went to Cambridge, because he did nothing when we went to Cambridge, did he? Griggy? And you think that's because the ball's not there. I mean, it's a very good point you make about Johnson being, because we've had players here before that I've just thought, like, I'm not going to name any, because I'll be honest with you.
Deep man.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I'll be honest, you about 5 or 6 whiskies in.
Andre Flo.
See, for me, Bradley Johnson should be this year, this decade's.
Exactly, we've had guys, Tony.
Don's Keith Andrews. That's for me. That's why he's there. He is there as the Keith Andrews that does everything, really, chases everything. He's got a goal in him, but he can also be the last man if needed.
Yeah, the problem is, Tony. See, the problem is with guys like him.
Boys, what they should be doing, Tony.
See, the problem is, like with him, is we've had players here before that have been like far better than really we deserve to have, and they play balls into space where there's no one there, and I've always given them the benefit of the doubt, thinking you're playing that ball into space because you genuinely believe that someone should see what you're doing and run into that space. That's what he should be doing. I'm immensely frustrated with him because I genuinely think he's a great player, but the minute...
Who are we talking about?
Bradley Johnson.
All right, still Bradley Johnson. I can't believe we're wasting our time on him.
Well, the problem is, Colin, he's like here, he's taken like a space up, and you think to yourself, you're a good player, I know you are. Have you just rocked up because you're in your mid-30s and you think, right, this is it, this is my final payday, I'll come here, these blokes will just accept anything? Or, I mean, I don't know what to say about him, to be quite honest.
I don't think that would be possible anyway. You can just tell from his personality he's not that sort of person. But
he wants to be better at his job then, Tony, to be quite honest.
Maybe he needs to change to do something, because... Not just because of his age, experience and how good he is, but because of the position he plays on the pitch. That position in the centre of the pitch is where the game is controlled, or should be controlled. So he's the man that, someone, if it's not him, has got to step up. McEachran's out, so it's got to be him or Devoy, really, that have got to take control. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't go, I didn't see it, but from what I could tell on the radio, and certainly from the Toby barometer, it wasn't a pleasant viewing experience.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, I like I said to you, I left my house at 7:30 and I got in shortly after 10 o'clock and I'd done a century. You know, what with travelling, food, ticket and all the rest of it, I'd done £100. And like I said in my, meltdown report on the concrete roundabout, if Pete had been standing outside with a fistful of 20s, I'd have took the money. I would have took the refund, I mean, I know we've all joked about it, but I bloody well would. I'd have said, yes, Pete, give me £100. I honestly felt when I came away, and I said to my missus when I got home, and I said, well, that was a day wasted. I'll never get back.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing about it, isn't it? Is that it feels like that is not. I mean, fortunately, it's not every game like it was with. I mean, even the Tisdale season, you got promoted. I mean, you wouldn't go and revisit that season, would you, for your viewing pleasure?
No.
Promotion or not, and
I think we got spoilt last season, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did, and there is a lot of that is to do with the quality of the players that we had, which was the Parrots and the Twines and Harry Darling. I mean, they're to have those, well, especially Twine and Darling, to have those two in the team, and also for them to be almost there for pretty much every game. But this team that we've got now, and that starting 11. I think has now taken shape because he's finally gone back to the back five. That may have coincided.
He has worked that out.
Well, I think it's coincided with Harvey coming back more than anything. Because someone did say to me that the team without Harvey didn't really suit the wing backs, but now he's back. And let's be fair, the lad Lawrence has drastically improved in that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, compared to that first
couple
game,
of games, oh my God, it was terrible.
At Cambridge, he was. I mean, it's rare to have seen any single Dons player have as bad a game as he did that day. But he's pulled it out, and I have to say, not too many complaints now.
I listened to your show after that game, and I think one of you two said that was probably the single most worst performance ever from a Dons player he'd ever seen.
That was probably me. I've taken against him, Colin. I've taken against him. I'm still not convinced, to be quite honest. All right,
you got
to have someone you really don't like.
We'll come back to you in a minute, Colin. We'll talk about MKDSA stuff. So, in summary, Colin did not like the Exeter game, but he does love coming. That's what we do, though. Yeah.
Have we had any other?
We've actually got a couple of match
go on, then read them out, Tone. I'll have a whiskey. I'm on my
they've taken the time to.
Can I just stop you?
First one is
stop. Hang on, Tony. Tony, stop. Tony, stop. Tony, stop. It's finished in Holland. It's 4-0 to Ajax. So I'm now on my 6th whiskey to try and numb the pain. So you can read out the old match reports while I get quietly drunk.
Right, yeah. All right, so this one's from Adam Jones. Thanks, Adam. He's sent us a lovely match report. He said, it's taken me a little while to digest what we all saw yesterday from the final whistle, from the first whistle to the last. It was poor. I'm usually an optimistic fan. Try and see the positives where they are to be found, and I don't overreact to a loss. However, yesterday, the only real positive was making it home by 8 p.m. With a team unchanged from the one convincingly put 4 past Morecambe, I expected a similar type of performance. What we got, however, was very much a performance akin to the loss at Ipswich. The game started with the Dons in usual format with the back 5. The pitch was fairly narrow, but made even narrower by the fact they almost had all of the first 45 minutes of the game, which was played on the left-hand side of the pitch. Both teams seemingly not interested in using either side to stretch the game, probably part of Exeter's plan to reduce the space for expansive play. I think that's pretty much confirms what we were saying about how they set out to beat it at our own game. Dons very much struggled to pass through or around Exeter, not by the fact that we misplaced passes, allowing Exeter to win possession, get around us and whip balls into the box. Most of those were claimed by Cumming or cleared by the defence. The closest they came in the first 30 minutes was when Anombe got a toe on a dangerous low cross, but it went wide. Don's only chance of note came when they finally managed to pass upfield. A good ball whipped in by Harvey sailed over the keeper and found Burns completely unmarked on the right, whose first time Strike at the back post as well, saved by Blackman. He should have scored there. He should have scored. Exeter were pressing well with intensity, which never allowed Dons to settle. We mentioned that before, and allow us to play our game. Towards the end of the first half, we already come in to thank for parity. Dangerous ball into the box, met by Grounds, whose header was on target, but Cumming clawed it away, and that was instantly headed back, and he saved it again right into the top corner, but he got there. Cummings somehow reacted quickly and clawed it back off the line, and a fantastic double save. Rightly so, having his name sung by the Dons fans, the only thing that kept us singing all game. If we thought we were poor or lacklustre in the first half, it got even worse in the second. Exeter pretty much penned us into our own half, playing with a high defensive line on halfway, recycling possession out wide to put countless balls into the box. Essentially, did to us what we try to do to others, something we can't seem to handle on the receiving end as a group anyway. We did very little. When we did win the ball, we often gave it. It often got cleared to halfway and recycled by Exeter to come straight back at us. It does sound like playing against us. Coming again, made save after save and catch after catch. Manning made changes, taking off Grigg, Burns and Grant, bringing on Dennis, Coyote and Smith. They did absolutely nothing to change the flow of the game. The pressure continued and Exeter took the lead through Diabetes on 66 minutes. When he made a good connection from a corner. Nothing more than Exeter deserved. In truth, it had been coming, and if it weren't for coming, we would have already been behind. Don started to look over the top of the press by playing longer balls. Vast majority, however, were hopeful, which Dennis or Coyote often ended up second best to win possession of. If they did win it, they were isolated due to the rest of the team being so deep behind them. Towards the end of the game, Dons finally got into the Exeter third with Cody, but only to be awarded a free kick on the left-hand side of the box. Could we snatch an unlikely point from this set piece? Drum roll? No. In keeping with the quality of the level of the game, Devoy fired the free kick high over everyone, and it harmlessly rolled out for a goal kick near the corner flag. The game limped to an end. Disappointing performance. It can't even be described as a performance. In truth, Exeter clearly did their homework, executed their game plan perfectly on us. They did to us what Ipswich did to us, and what we did, what we tried to do to others. As much as Exeter were good, a large part of this was due to how poor the Dons were and how we were unable to deal with it. All game the lads rushed passes, made sloppy decisions, surrendered possession, and no one offered a calming influence. There you go. There's your job, mate. There's your job. Imposed themselves on the game or took it by the scruff of the neck. We couldn't keep possession and couldn't break through the high press. It was completely devoid of quality or composure. And if it wasn't for Cumming being the exceptional keeper he is, we would have come away having conceded 3 or 4. Happy birthday, Jamie Cumming. Didn't know it was his birthday. Man of the match by a country mile. It was a carbon copy of the Ipswich game. Exceptionally poor from the Dons. We clearly struggle playing against the team with a style similar to what we play. Work needed on the training pitch, lessons to be learned. Thankfully, they now have some time to work on these things. And there may be a theme for a while. Some good performances, some neutral, and the occasional bad one, whilst the staff try and coach and improve the team from these experiences. Yeah, it's pretty much what we said, isn't it? Is that we have got that Jekyll and Hyde thing going on at the moment. Thanks for that, Adam.
That was very good.
Excellent report.
It was a bit long, but it was all right. I've got breaking news.
Breaking news?
Steve Bruce has just been made manager of Chelsea.
Really?
No, I made that up. Of course he hasn't.
Do you know what? For a second, I was in.
That sucks you in, Tone.
I've got one from Albie as well.
Pig up the screen.
Oh God, how long is this going to be going on if it's from Albie?
Albie's, it's not too bad actually. It's all right. He actually said I didn't want to send a message after the game as emotions were so high, so I thought I'd give it a few days for it to settle, and I'm even more annoyed. Little or no urgency, 1 or 2 half-assed efforts, a constant reliance on Cumdog to come for crosses, and it wasn't. It wasn't take long for one of those to get better of it. We looked so disjointed by a few good performances, and ultimately, I think the writing is on the wall that this would be one of those seasons. We can't wait for this team to gel any longer. It's been a month, 10 games, and not many have given us hope that more positive things are to come. it'll be a transitional year, and at least we have to accept that and move on. Liam keeps getting away with criticism. Ultimately, you cannot question a manager these days without wanting him out or disliking him. So I understand why some are afraid to do so, but substitutions suck. His team lineups leave a lot to be desired, and the general tactics are baffling. We aren't a great passing side, as many like to pretend we are. We pass the ball well, but of course, not by being a great passing team doesn't mean you're not a long ball side. It's a bit of both, but every ball we got away at Exeter was aimlessly punted away. There's no will to play centrally and to try and play through a side. Perhaps players either aren't good enough, brave enough, or a bit of both. This ultimately lies with those who recruit these players, because we've got a long season of this, and if it doesn't pick up against Sharpish, it's not going to be a pleasant season. The fans were singing, "We've got the ball, we've lost the ball, and we're fucking shit," sarcastically for about 15 minutes before the game ended. And when you're a goal down, that is bad. It's jovial when you're 5-0 down, but when you've accepted that your fate at 1-0, that says it all. Rightly or wrongly, most in the away end felt the game was done before the goal went in. Very, very disappointing, and that's becoming worrying. That's interesting, actually. Rightly or wrongly, most in the away end felt the game was done before
Who was that
the goal
from,
went in.
Tone?
That was Albie.
Albie, yeah. Well, I can't argue with anything Albie said.
Yeah, that's interesting that the game was done before the goal went in. So even basically what it's saying is we were never going to score. We were never going to score.
We weren't. It was coming. Everybody in that ground knew that they were going to score sooner or later. It wasn't a case of if, but when. And when that goal went in, that was going to be the end of the game. I think Albie's right. We did sort of accept it. 1-0 down. Well, there ain't no way we get back into this. No way.
So
there
basically, even if Exeter didn't score, there was no way that we were scoring.
It was 0-0. No, it was 0-0, mate. 0-0. The only thing in question was, could Jamie Cumming keep them out for 90 minutes? And that was the only thing in question. It was not. You couldn't see us scoring. I mean, the Exeter keeper is the biggest bloke in the world. You take a look see if you can find a photograph of the Exeter keeper. He is enormous. I don't think he had a meaningful save to make all game. I think he went walkabout in the first half, and Greg got hold of the ball and squared it, but there was nobody there to tap it home, and I think he did make an half a decent save off one of our players from an impossible angle, but that was about it, mate. That was it.
So are we gonna? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we start again on Saturday, and that's it. As you know, I am the ultimate optimist, but I'm not. I'm getting to the point where I'm not enjoying the football again.
Stop, Tony. He's 1.99 metres tall, that bloke.
That is very tall.
Oh, he's a very tall man.
Okay, Google, what is 1.99 metres in feet and inches?
About 6'3", 6'4", is it? Something like that.
6.6346.
Well, that's tall, Tony. He's a big fella.
6 foot, 6.346. Yeah, there you go. It's nearly 6 foot. Well, 6 foot 6 and a third.
Yeah, and he weren't a small bloke as well. I mean, he was built like bloody. Well, he looked like he could handle himself in a ring. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want him. You know, the sort of guy that sort of stands on the door at a nightclub. You know what I mean?
And looks at your shoes and said, "No, not
tonight,
mate,
not tonight, mate.
Not with them on."
Yeah, no, and you don't argue.
Yeah, no, you just say, Fair enough,
mate.
It's immensely disappointing, like all piss taking aside, because I honestly, genuinely thought, and I'm not taking the piss, I honestly thought we were going to go there and batter them. You know, I really honestly thought.
I thought we were going to do the same as we did.
Yeah, I honestly thought we were going to put 5 past them and like not even break a sweat. You know, I honestly thought we would do them to go there.
It was a false dawn. Morecambe was a false dawn, mate. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it, Tony. It really is. I mean,
I'll tell you what, I definitely chose the right weekender, that's for sure.
You did,
yeah. You bloody well did, and I chose the wrong one.
Well, we lost. What can you say? Shall we move on, or do you want anything else you want to say about that game?
Let's just get it done with.
I mean, what you said, Tony, Jekyll and Hyde, You know, I mean, I know we're not talking about the Bristol Rovers game now, but I mean, I haven't got a clue what to expect.
No, I mean, I can't. I'm not a big fan of Bristol Rovers in general, mainly because of their manager. But I don't think they'll be over preparing in terms of a defensive display. Let's put it that way. I think they'll be looking at that and they'll be thinking, we could definitely win this if we press them. If we can make sure that they don't have the room to pass the ball. And that's where we did it. We have done it in the past where that style, the style that we like to play, has to adapt to certain teams and the way that they play. And under Russell Martin, it was clear that we struggled with the press. And Liam Manning came in and sorted that out. And the improvements with coming in, because he can play with his feet. He rarely makes mistakes. And that gives confidence to the other players around him, and they know that they can go and take up their positions, and we can spread the game, and that's what we're good at. We make teams run after the ball, but what we can't allow is for them to control the game. If they're going to try and stop us playing, we've got to find a way to counteract that. And if that means hoofing it 50 yards up the pitch just to clear things, then I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, and I don't want to say we should do this, that, or the other, because that's not what we do. On this podcast, we let them get on with it. But the more I see of this, it's not even inconsistencies. It's letting teams bully us. It's letting teams dictate how the game is being played, and that sounded very comfortable for Exeter on Saturday.
I mean, Manning says it was very difficult to play against a team that are playing the high press like that. Well, they better figure it out bloody quickly. Because any team that are worth their salt will be watching the replay of that Exeter game and thinking that's the way to play them.
Well, anybody watching the video of that, and I'm absolutely positive that the Bristol Rovers manager will have done. He'll be rubbing his hands together, I would have thought.
Well, lose on Saturday, he'll liven the fans for him up on Monday.
Well, it won't, will it? Because have you noticed?
That's true.
Like, have you noticed
talking of fans forums and inconsistencies, let's talk about the departure of the MKDSA chairman. Now, I want to put this to you immediately, straight away, because I'm hearing the reason for your resignation is financial irregularities. Millions have been siphoned out of the MKDSA to fund your chocolate hobnob addiction. Are you able to answer that question?
You found us out. I cannot confirm or deny though.
But you have got a chocolate hobnob addiction.
I was in a castle in Yorkshire at the time.
Having your eyes tested?
No, I think it's well documented why I'm going for health reasons, and I need to take some time out, mate, and get myself straight and see where that takes me.
With the new chairperson, or person, have you? Are you any idea who it's going to be?
I do. Yes, I can tell you exactly who it's going to be if you'd like to ask me. I can tell you exactly.
John will tell you.
It's not going to be John again, is it?
No. I'll leave that to Colin to tell us who he's going to take. Go on, Colin, call us.
Well, as you probably are aware, people have to put in their applications to become chairman of the MKDSA.
Can I stop you, Colin? Can I stop you there? Stop! Is it too late to like put one in? I've missed my chance.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucked me right off. That has.
I never wrote the Constitution, but the Constitution says you must be an MKDSA member.
I am a member.
Yeah, but you must put your application in 30 days before the AGM.
Oh, well, fuck no. Oh, well.
So
next year.
There were two people that put in for it. Unfortunately, one of them didn't qualify on a technicality.
Right, so who is the new chairperson then?
Aidan Gray.
Oh, well, right, your mate Aidan, who does the thing with you.
Well, that's just poor, Colin. Aidan who does that's poor because you've said that before Monday night, so it's a fixed result.
No, it's not, Paul. It's not poor at all. He's the
poor.
only applicant.
Well, there is that.
It didn't take a lot of working out. It's on the MKDSA website.
Oh, I think I'd be. You know who'd be great as the chairman of MKDSA? Me. Absolutely.
You did it. You were rubbish.
I wasn't the chairman. I was the secretary. You fucking idiot.
Well, you were rubbish at that as well.
I mean, shut up. Man, I was fucking poor at that. God, I was terrible at it. Do you know who...
It is, yeah, listen though, it is the hardest job in the world, let's be honest.
Do you know what's the hardest job in the world? The Prime Minister, mate.
No, that's a piece of piss.
Well, I can
You can do what you like, and no one can do anything about it.
Well, apparently.
If you're in England, anyway. You know, it is I mean, Colin will confirm that it is a difficult job, but...
It is.
He has got the personality and the thick skin to do it, and did a very good job. So, what's Aidan offering that?
Yeah, go on.
We need to
Give
know
us
about?
that. Why is Aidan better than you, Colin?
Mate, that's not for me to say.
No, that's for you to say, Colin, because you're the one that's saying it.
Aidan can blow his own trumpet, but you know.
Can I stop you, Colin? Can I stop you?
What blow the trumpet?
You've got to say how great he is, because he's not here. You've got to say how brilliant he is.
Well, you know, he's a nice enough sort of guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's eloquent. He can handle himself, in all types of forums. You know, he's been on the MKDSA committee for a number of years now. You know, he knows what's what. He's got the experience. He's just got to make the step up now to be chairman.
So what's he doing about Luntons?
Oh, that's closed now.
What, permanently?
Yeah. No, only you.
I haven't been paid yet. You spent it on chocolate hobnobs.
Oh, I'm sorry. This has got nothing to do with me, mate. I'll wipe my hands of it.
Oh, right. So I'm going to have to go and sort it out myself now. I'm going to send the boys down there.
Yeah. No, as far as I'm aware, nothing's going to change in Luton's. Well, certainly haven't heard anything from the club. I shall probably ask Pete on Monday at the fans forum what plans he's got for Luton's, but we're still making improvements. I mean, we purchased... We bought another TV, and that should go up this week in time for the game on Saturday.
In time for them to put on Country File.
Yeah, if you like, something like that. We've also had a word with them about that. One of my pet hates, that is 12:15 on a Saturday, and it's on the wrong bloody channel, and we have to phone up IT and say, "Can you put the bloody football on? This is a football club, you know." We're not interested about herding sheep. Well, I'm not, but I mean, you might be.
Well, I did say, I mean, we did all sit there and watch it for the best part of half an hour. I got quite into it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I phoned up IT. Do you know what IT said? We're too busy.
You're trying to turn tellies over, yeah.
Fucking remarkable.
And
that's what you're dealing with, mate, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know
I recognise your struggles, and anybody who's worked for the club and has seen anything that is outside basically the hotel can fuck off, more or less. I believe it. Yeah.
I'll go as far as saying, mate, a lot more could have been done if the club had been more receptive. A lot more.
Well, this is it. You see, this is the question, that, and I've mentioned this so many times on this podcast over the years. When we went to Ruston and Diamonds for a pre-season friendly.
What, this season?
No, not this is the one.
It was about 6 years ago, mate. To be quite honest,
before the stadium opened.
Yeah,
it might have been that. It might have been that pre-season. We were all sat in this. I don't know if you went to the Ruston Diamonds, the nice stadium.
Do you know what happened that time we went?
Yeah.
That was the time that some.
I was there.
That was the time that some bloody racing driver got something hit in the face. Remember that? It happened that very day. And Pete turned up and he did this thing when he, like, this is not going to work in a podcast, but he like did his arms up, kind of going, "Look at this, you guys, you will have this."
Very, very much in a similar position to where the Red Dot Bar is at our state. That was 2007,
Well,
2006,
I don't know when that was. I mean, like
And he
That's
said,
just
"You
the guy,
will,
yes.
you will
Yeah,
have
you will
one
have
of
this.
these."
That's exactly what
Right.
he genuinely did say. Like Tony just said, you will have
Exact
this.
words. That is one promise that he has broken badly, and the
Yeah.
Red Dot Bar didn't cut it, even when it was open to fans, and it's now a hotel bar.
Dylan's ready now.
Dennis
gonna
ready.
cut
John's
that
got to go. He's got to take his ball and go home.
Right, sorry. No, carry on. Sorry, I can. Anyway, man, unless when they can make him wrap this shit up.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see what happens now, and regardless of who the chairman, we know who the chairman is now. But
Who's the chairman, Tony? Tell me.
some bloke called Adrian.
Aidan Gray.
Right, quickly. Saturday and Tuesday, we get 2 games to talk about.
Who are we playing Tuesday? Is it the
Bolton Wanderers.
at home, isn't it? 2 at
That's
home.
the corner, isn't it?
3-0 and 2-0.
Fuck off. Who two?
I'm going to go Saturday 1-0. Tuesday, I'm going to go 6-0. Quite honest, I was.
Oh,
Yeah, all right.
well, you two on drugs.
I am. What do you think, Colin? Come on.
I'm going to go. We're going to win on Saturday 3-2 because I think there's a lot of goals going to be in the game because they score a lot, but they concede a lot. So I just got a feeling there might be a few goals in it. So I'm going 3-2, and I'm going to go Tuesday. I think we're going to lose 1-0.
Get
You
off.
feel we don't do these predictions at the beginning of the recording, I tell you.
We never, ever.
You can't say we're going to lose.
We never say we're going to lose, Colin. Never. We always
I
say
just fucking
if
said
we're
it.
going to lose, we always say it's going to be 0-0. That's our code for we're going to lose. We don't say we're going to lose.
Okay,
we
on
don't- we generally
Tuesday
don't
it's
even
going to
give
be
them a goal.
0-0, but they'll probably score.
Oh, that's more like it. Yeah, that makes much more sense.
I'm really drunk. I'm sorry, I really am. You anything to say, Tony, before we fuck off?
No, just to forewarn Lewingtons that I'll be bringing the boys up to collect my money Saturday.
Yeah, we got quite a tiny security team up there.